So later today, House Speaker Paul Ryan is heading down to visit the U.S.-Mexico border as his party is still trying to figure out just how they're going to pay for this big border wall and deliver on one of President Trump's biggest campaign promises. It's a thorny issue. We're watching Speaker Ryan's trip. We don't expect a ton of press coverage, but we're bringing it to you when we get it this afternoon. In the meantime, we're talking about all this with Congressman Ted Lieu, Democrat from California. Congressman, thank you for being with us. And I want to start with conversations with your Republican colleagues. Are you hearing any kind of consensus on how to pay for this wall, given that Mexico has insisted it ain't going to be them?
All right. Thank you, Hallie, for your question. The Republicans have a problem. They don't know how to fund this border wall, and multiple Republicans have now gone on record saying they are not going to fund this stupid border wall. And in fact, one of the Republican members of Congress in Texas said that this border wall is one of the most expensive, least effective ways to secure our border. So that's one reason that Speaker Ryan needs to go down and look at this place, because he is having problems holding his own caucus together.
So let's stay on immigration for a second here, because I know your feelings on the border wall, but you've talked about, when we talk about border security, you have said that's crucial, right? That's really key to comprehensive immigration reform. If these DHS guidelines go too far, though, what is the Democratic alternative then, given that the White House basically says, hey, if somebody enters the country illegally, they can be deported?
As an immigrant myself, I find the Trump administration's orders on immigration to be un-American, offensive, and cruel. We're going to separate children from their parents. We're going to break apart families under these orders. Under President Bush, at least we had compassionate conservatism. This is cruel conservatism, and it needs to be stopped. The president has said he wants to have a big heart. He wants to treat some of these families with heart. You don't buy that?
Absolutely not, because under these orders as they are written, you can deport parents who are here, who are undocumented, even if they just committed the crime of jaywalking. These orders do not distinguish between violent crimes and nonviolent crimes. And that is one of their problems. It is a stupid order in terms of enforcement. You're going to spend all these federal resources on people living peaceful lives, and it's a waste of federal resources, and it's really quite cruel.
Congressman, immigration is one of the topics that has come up at some of these GOP town halls all across the country, with Congress out on recess this week. Healthcare is another. Marsha Blackburn, for example, the Congresswoman, was at a town hall last night. I want to play you a couple of moments from that, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Listen.
We have in the White House now a notorious white nationalist as a special advisor to the President of the United States. I'd like to know your thoughts on that.
I'm wondering if you will support an independent commission to investigate President Trump.
I want to get your reaction overall to what your colleagues are seeing at some of these town halls, Congressman, and the president's point that these are planned, in some cases, planned protests from groups like Indivisible and others of progressives and liberals coming into these red districts.
The president is just wrong. These are organic grassroots protests that you see from across the country. On January 21st, there was that amazing women's march all over America. You're seeing this huge reaction to the policies of Donald Trump, and it's also showing up in the polling data. Over the weekend,
Congressman, there are groups, though, right? I mean, you don't deny that there are groups of more liberal activists who are helping to organize some of these protests at town halls.
Well, yes, there are groups that are organizing people to show up at town halls, but these are people who are constituents of these members of Congress. That's what people do. They show up at town halls and they give their voices to these members of Congress, and you're seeing this huge reaction to Donald Trump's extreme and cruel policies.
California Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you much. We will see you back here in Washington after the recess. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.